Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel of Evolution. My name is Shuby. Today we are going to talk about some kick-ass shit and wonder why people fail to communicate all the time. Why it's all about this ego. I need to be right, I need to be superior, and I need to win. Therefore, you're going to lose, you're going down, I won't listen to anything you say, and I'm going to try to be the loudest person in the room and not let you talk because, well, you're information might destroy my identity and belief, which I don't want to die or feel defeat, so I'm not going to listen and stay ignorant to anything that you have to say. And then you butt heads, and well, I'm going to probably attack you and talk shit because, well, that's all I can do if I can't provide facts, and, well, you're a loser. But it irks me, because, well, fear is the limitation that destroys everything. But it sucks because everybody wants us to stay in fear so people can make money. But if people could face their fear and overcome their fear and learn how to communicate with people, well then, as a society and as a civilization, we could, instead of making money, make progress. Wouldn't that be something? Woo! We would have all of our technology would just blow up. We'd be like Atlantis, or Egypt, and the ancient ideas of these high technical societies that we were supposed to be, but instead we decided that throwing shit at each other and puffing out each other's chests to see who could look bigger was better than actually being intelligent. So our species has kind of devolved over the years. Well, because, economy is most important or something, I don't know. But anyways, I just never really understood why everyone's unable to, I guess I understand it. It's tough. It's really tough when somebody says you're a piece of shit, you're an asshole, and they just have to trigger you and throw you under a bus and tear you apart to defend their own identity. And it might hurt, but it's only if you believe it. Or if it's true. Because that's what it comes down to. Truth defends itself. It doesn't matter how long you argue, truth always wins. Because the truth is it, right? It is the very fundamental truth. That's why it's divine. And if everybody supported the truth, and if everybody was able to throw away this bullshit and let go of their ego and their attachments and their identity, and just accept and love truth, and realize the beauty in it, and how perfect the earth is designed, how nature was so perfect, and we only fuck it up by thinking and destroying. We got this negative shit that... But we could look at it, we can fix it, we can correct it. So when we got two people who are coming into conflict and war, people always say, well, everybody has arguments. And I say bullshit. I say undeveloped people who feel lack have arguments. Everybody has different opinions, and they may have conversations that discuss different opinions. But arguments come from that anger of bringing up your unconquered demons because someone hasn't done shadow work, because someone hasn't been able to face those insecurities and those vulnerabilities and accept themselves. They have to put on a mask, and that is why they continually protect an image with an identity with a group, right? This is what the group identity and the reason our political parties are so warlike is because, well, we feel a part of something. We feel accepted. And if we can't accept ourselves, well, then the group is what we have. And therefore, that becomes our identity. And that becomes what we attach ourselves to. And it's like a child in the womb. We are finally find a place that is comfortable and warm. And we have the umbilical cord, that is the group that gives us all of our nourishment. And what happens to a child that is pulled out of the womb and they're given birth? They cry. They cry because now the environment's uncomfortable. The umbilical cord gets cut, and it is no longer warm, and you're no longer fed. Now you have to think for yourself. Life is given to you, but a lot of times people feel agitated by that and triggered by that. So we get all defensive, and we attack, and we kick, and we throw a tantrum, and we scream. But that's the child's response. Because next thing you know, you learn how to handle it. And over the next few years, you start to crawl. Then you stand up and you start to walk. And then you start to experience life. And you start to touch burners and you hurt yourself. And you realize not to do that. You know? But unless you learn, which means you have to be willing to do. You have to be willing to go inside yourself and look at all the things you never wanted to look at. And learn how to heal from them. You know, because if you get into that argument with somebody who is absolutely triggered and they become defensive and they're going to start attacking you, well, then if you're not healed and you haven't strengthened yourself to handle and accept yourself, well, then you may lash out back to defend yourself, right? To protect that image, to protect that identity. But if you believe in truth and you love yourself, well, then you don't have to defend anything. You can be yelled at this whole time by somebody who is limited by their own limitations because they're hiding behind their own masks. They just expressing their vulnerabilities and showing their lack of confidence in the ideals that they do have because, well, if they were true, well, then they wouldn't have to be angered and agitated and yelling and threatening you, right? You would think. And so, if you are finding yourself getting agitated and irked by things, well, just ask yourself, what is it that is truly bothering you? Because this is like a chance, right? You can look into this and you'll find out exactly why you feel like shit. And this is like your opportunity to take that, learn from it, and then make it awesome. Like if someone calls you an asshole and you're actually hurt by it, because you can see all of these ways that you are or were an asshole, well, this is an opportunity to correct it, right? Because now you're like, you know what, I screwed up. You know, I said some things that I didn't want to say to this person. So then you go out and you apologize to them and you make amends, you know, and then you start to better yourself day by day because you're like, well, you know what? I was a piece of shit. I'm no longer going to be a piece of shit because I don't like that. And they were right. And then you start to better yourself. So then being called an asshole was like a blessing, wasn't it? You know, and being threatened by somebody was like a blessing in that aspect when you're in this argument, in this debate, you know. But when then other people are coming after you and you're just staying calm and you're asking questions because, well, that's what life should be about, right? Because the only thing that matters is the truth. And all you care about is the truth. Not being right, just the truth. What is fundamentally at the basis of this? What is our earth? What is our consciousness? We may never know. But what is the truth? As long as we seek that, we don't have to argue. We don't have to rile. We don't have to get agitated. We stay calm. And we can learn. But to get to that point is to do the shadow work. It is to go in to tear yourself apart. It is going in and learning from all these things that rile us and agitate us. Because there's a reason they tear us up and they agitate us and they piss us off. We just have to look into it. You know, and the problem with this communication problem, it's like, it's not, I understand passion comes from this excitement that comes out of this or whatever you want to call it when you debate and you're in it with someone, but you don't have, you know, you can stay playful and happy. When you get tore up, there's something more there. You know, it's just, you got to stay with the truth, you know. Look into yourself, accept yourself, love yourself, stay playful. and nobody will ever tear you down. Love you guys. Peace.